Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Wondering if any fine nobodies out there are listening.
Oh my gosh. Listening from WG Pod. You guys are hilarious and very relatable. Love the show.
Hey.
We got from Emily Loves Their iPhone. Laugh too hard to listen while I work out. I'm listening, but I had to stop listening while I work out because I laughed too hard. Found you through AE. Oh my God. Are we doing stuff on A&E now?
Armchair expert.
Oh my gosh. Binged all your episodes and was sad when I had to start waiting a week to hear more. Love hearing the smiles through your disagreements. What a nice way to put that. Love hearing the smiles through your disagreements.
Can I pat us on the back?
Can I finish this review?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought it was done.
Your love for each other shines through your voices.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to cry.
Cry.
I am. Here it is.
Okay, sorry that I interrupted you.
No, thank you for those shout outs to anyone else who hasn't yet, has been thinking about it. I urge you to pause this podcast, click review, slam those 5 stars, and throw down because we love it so much. And another great way to support the show is on Patreon, patreon.com/totallylame, LAIME. We're going to be putting some fun content up there from time to time. We've already put a bunch of exclusive videos. If you like our videos on Instagram, which is on at Nobody's Listening Right, you get more of that on Patreon. And our entire back catalog of 1,300 plus episodes.
Wow, it's funny. I thought you were going to say something like sweet and profound. I didn't know you were just going to do a plug.
No.
Let me do a plug real quick, though, then, because you're doing plugs. I'm going to read one more review from Bethy612. Longtime lamewad, mommy, married, and Bevhead. Love having you back. Also, T-Bash for life.
Aww.
And here's my plug for T-Bash. If you're listening to this on Wednesday when it drops, in 2 days on Friday, a T-Bash podcast with none other than Elizabeth Lame will be dropping. So if you want to hear Elizabeth Lame wax poetic about cold brew coffee, please check out Totally Beverages and Sometimes Listening on wherever you get your podcasts, and check out that episode in 2 days.
And I could wax poetic about cold brew for days.
It's going to be a good one.
No, I wanted to pat us on the back because that review means so much to me, like smiles through the disagreements or whatever, and that our love shines through even when we're not on the same page necessarily. Because I really am proud of us. I think that we've come a long way in terms of being able to navigate conflict. I think we really get along great. We like each other a lot. We love each other, obviously, but I think that's an area, especially for me, and I'm going to say for you too, both of us, I think, tend to avoid conflict. We're not conflict
We've never been in that relationship where everyone, this might be you listening, or this person. We know couples where you're around them and you're like, holy shit, you guys must fight all the time.
They almost like thrive or seek it out.
But they also you can see them do like a 180 too. Like they're so used to it, and it's such a part of their thing, their modus operandi. Am I using that right?
I think so.
But we're not those people. So when there is conflict, we're very uncomfortable in it.
We're very uncomfortable. It would be very easy for both of us to just avoid, walk away, ignore, stuff down. And I think that you and I have become really good at navigating conflict together. And I'm really proud of us.
Oh, that's great. And I think, on this show, we're not, I guess every once in a while we're navigating kind of heavy stuff. But I think our playful navigating, I want to just be clear, our playfulness sometimes, that's not how we're navigating
Like real
serious issues that happen. But I think we're good at navigating serious issues. That's what I think you're really
You know
patting
what,
our back
though?
on too.
Having said that, Andy, I think it's kind of informed it. Like, we didn't have like a massive conflict this week, but we did have something that we needed to talk about, and it was uncomfortable for both of us. And I think once, like, very quickly, we realized we were pretty much on the same page, and then it was easy to turn to making a joke about it and being playful through it. So
That's true.
and then remember how I almost died?
Holy shit.
That was crazy.
Let's go. Let's start there. We have
Okay.
a lot to get
We
into.
do have a lot to get into.
Let's talk about you dying almost.
Okay.
And then will you kind of submit to me to help us keep on track this episode? Because I have a list of stuff
Yeah.
that like I'm worried that we're going to miss.
You lead the way.
But starting with your almost death is perfect.
And I will say it was very much on the heels of this conversation we had that was a little bit intense, and then we worked through it pretty easily.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
I thought of
Wow.
that in the sense of like, I'm glad we worked through that, because had I died, it wouldn't have been like on this bad.
Oh, wow.
But anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to brief history, and I know we're on a clock, Andy, but I have something called a Schatzki's ring, which is a band of muscle around my esophagus that about 4 or 5 years ago, it started to become a problem, and I didn't know I had it, where I would eat food, and I'm a fast eater. It's not great. And it was specific types of food, like rice or certain salads, or pasta is a big culprit,
Oh.
would get kind of stuck in my chest,
Halfway down the
halfway
pipe.
down, and very painful. And then my body would do this insane fucking thing where I can't swallow. Like, so any saliva that I'm swallowing or water or anything is just adding pressure on top of what's stuck there. And my glands would kick in and start hyper salivating. Like, I could lean over a sink and it would be like water is just pouring out of my mouth. It is a crazy sensation. And had no idea what this was. And it was when I was in the room of I'm sorry and had an incident. And Dylan, who actually is now my showrunner's assistant on the show I'm on A Million Little Things, was taking me to the emergency room.
Whoa.
And then by the time we had like walked around for a minute to get to his car, I could tell it was like starting to pass. And I'm also like, I don't fucking know what they would do in the emergency room. Like, anyway, long story short, I finally went to a gastro person, and they did an upper endoscopy and found this Schatzki ring, and they like kind of blow it out like with a balloon. They put a balloon in, pump it up, kind of bust open the fibers, and then I'm gonna have to do this every few years probably. So 'tis time again. I've been noticing it starting to happen again. I've been having these episodes every once in a while, and it's really very uncomfortable and painful. And it's really upsetting because like nothing, I mean, there are very few things that bring me more joy in life.
And eating pasta super fast.
Yes, than inhaling huge, like obscene mouthfuls of pasta makes me so happy. And so I can't do it anymore. But anyway, so this happened fairly recently. And then on the heels of this, Andy and I were having this discussion. We were sitting outside and we had just had egg and cheese bagels. And I ate it without issue, although actually at the end of it, I could kind of tell. I was like, oh, I kind of ate that too fast. Then I took a sip of water and it went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah.
And this has never happened to me before. You know, usually it's kind of uncomfortable and it kind of like fixes itself.
Yeah.
My throat closed, like fully closed. I couldn't breathe in. I couldn't breathe out. I freaked out. And also what was weird was I knew I wasn't choking. It was like water. And I later researched it. And I think what happened is my vocal cords like spasmed and swelled up and closed. But it was one of the, I mean, I could cry thinking about it. It was so scary. And you got up and you were like, are you choking? Are you choking? And I nodded.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wanted you to do the Heimlich, even though I knew there was nothing there. I don't know. I just wanted something. But then you came around and we're doing the Heimlich. And then I was thinking, he needs to call 911. Like, I hate to be like I was giving you notes, but I was thinking about like what needs to happen. And it was probably like 30 seconds, right? It wasn't, how long do you think it was? Or do you think it was like a minute?
Oh, no. We're talking 10 seconds.
Oh, God.
Max.
It felt so long to
Till
me.
well, how long were you choking until I noticed? Because I was on my phone, like making an appointment
Yeah,
or something.
probably
and then I
like 10 to 15 seconds.
And I looked up and I saw him. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, are you choking? And then I got around behind you, did my horrible attempt at a Heimlich. And then I realized that you were sitting down, that I wouldn't be able to do it that way.
Yeah.
So then I think I started like ushering you to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you start getting up, you started coughing. And I was so relieved because the only thing I remember from kids' CPR class, which we did ages ago, was that like if they're coughing,
It's okay.
it's going to be okay because that means like air is going through.
Yes.
And so I didn't even tell you this part. Speaking of calling a 911, our housekeeper was here that day.
Yeah.
And I was literally a split second from yelling, Mari, call
Oh, good.
911.
Yeah.
And then you coughed. And then I was like, okay.
Oh, my God. But just so scary. And I think that's the first time that I can remember where I thought, this is it. Very scary. Brings me to my podcast that I said I was launching in September. Right now, I don't know if that's happening because I'm so overwhelmed with stuff. But
You almost died.
I did almost die. And it was like the rest of the day, it was a working day. I'm working. And luckily, I work with really kind, understanding people. But I told my boss, like my boss actually, I think could hear. And I think going to the vocal cords, my voice sounded weird the next couple hours. And he was like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, oh, yeah. But actually, no, I'm not really. Like, I almost died. And I feel like I need to just, like, I mean, what I really felt like was I needed to be under covers for the rest of the day. I felt so drained and tired. And he was like, yes, totally, whatever. But anyway, that moment and like called the surgeon to go back in and have that ring, even though I don't think it's associated necessarily, but
It was kind of a reminder.
it was a reminder, and I just don't want to die that way either.
Oh, God.
So scary. But it does make me think, like, when I was super pregnant with Teddy, we hosted like a baby CPR class.
Yep.
Which actually is so memorable to me because it was probably 5 or 6 super pregnant couples. And there were couples, I don't know, like, who we didn't even know. Does that ring a bell? I feel like
I don't remember.
I ran into people later and they're like, I've been to your house because whatever. But there were all these, like, you know, CPR babies and CPR, like, heads laying around our little place in Silver Lake. And but the way you do CPR on an infant is very different from how you would do it on a 6 or 8-year-old or an adult. So
I want to do another class
yeah, I think we should.
ASAP.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Like, I'm so down. Oh, and this is the other weird part of the story. As I told you later, I was thinking about the CPR of it all the day before.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can't remember. Wait, did we did sort of talk about this? There was a reason why I would have been thinking about CPR. Something I was watching.
Was
or something.
Romy talking about it or something?
Yeah, something. Oh, yeah. Yes. That's what it was.
Well, anyway, that was scary.
Speaking of Romy,
Yeah.
let's talk about your jacket moment. The other
Yes.
day. This was. I want to give you a little.
I'm wearing it right now because so it's on the video, and I actually might take another picture because I think how it falls when I'm standing is really nice.
Nice.
And I love this jacket.
Yeah.
And I saw it on like an ad. And I was like, that is my dream. I love red.
Yeah.
I've been wanting a red jacket. It's very
Nice.
cool and it seems like it's kind of hip, I think, but I don't know how it looks on me. But anyway, it arrived.
It arrived. Now, let me give you a little context. Because in your little world, the jacket arrived and you're excited to show it to people.
Very.
Very. In my world at the time, I'm in the studio. It was a very hot day.
Swelteringly hot.
And it was so hot, and we were recording. And when we record, we turn off the air conditioner when
And
we're
can we
recording
say
vocals.
who you're recording with?
Yeah, no, I think it's all. We'll paint the scene. It's super relevant. Okay. But so we're recording. It's so hot that literally my computer stopped working. It was that hot. So that was the context. And then, so we were taking a mini little break. We had just turned the AC back on, and I was like, hey guys, I'm going to restart the computer. And so your timing was perfect, and you knock on the door. And
Well, say who's here.
yeah, okay, so who's here is Death by Romy. Go check out Death by Romy, one of my favorite artists.
She's
that I've
amazing.
gotten to work with.
She's like a young, incredible woman. She's 6 feet tall. She's got a very specific look that I don't want to offend anyone. I mean, it's like a goth.
Yeah. There's
I don't
probably
know if
terms
that's what
that we
they
don't
call
even
it,
know.
but-
Sure. But yeah, it's like a very, very cool goth
Very
look.
hard, like pretty hardcore goth look.
Yeah.
That and then her boyfriend Micah, who's a model, who's 6'2".
Looks like Trent Reznor out of a Trent Reznor video. Like in that day, was wearing like a fishnet see-through shirt
And like 4-inch
Balenciaga.
heels
Yeah.
that are what's that called? Where it's like it's a see-through resin material of these heels. So
Oh shit!
that's who was here.
Yeah,
Very stylish.
very.
Very like knows their style.
And you come in, and the first thing I say to you was like, oh, you're not going to want to have that jacket on. That was literally the first thing I said, because it was a sweatbox, not realizing that in Elizabeth's world, she had just put on this brand new jacket, was so excited to show it to us. So I deflate you the second you walk in, not realizing like you had.
But I can't believe you didn't notice it was a new, like,
sorry.
this is the other thing is, maybe you were like suffering from like heat stroke or something, but we don't have that many clothes because we don't have room for it. So when a new item enters the realm, it is usually it's definitely notable. And like this jacket is very notable to me.
But here's the thing. You just mentioned Micah's see-through heels, did you say? Mm-hmm. Which I hadn't noticed. I'm just not like...
A noticing type of guy.
I think is perceptive, detail perceptive.
Yes.
So yeah, don't let that take any wind out of your sails. And you know that about me. There's how many times have I missed things?
Oh yeah, can I tell you one thing
Sure.
on this just while we're here?
Yeah.
This is a look that I don't like, but when you have artists over and they're using our bathroom, which they go through our room for,
Yeah.
close the closet door. It's something you don't do and don't notice, and it makes a huge difference of like how things look. And also, it's just nice to have our
What a
stuff
good tip.
privacy.
What
Yes.
a good tip.
Okay.
Back to the story. So you come in so excited. First thing I said is you're not going to want to have that on, and you look kind of like, huh? And it's like because it's so hot in here, and then you're like, I just got this new jacket. To which all of us were like, oh. And then I'll let you take it here for a minute because there is a quote of this whole thing that I.
Oh, I don't
was
know the
incredible.
quote, but I did become acutely aware of that. Like, I suddenly felt very much like, you know, the mom jeans commercial on SNL, like where I'm one of those moms who's like, look at my new jacket. Like I'm very kind of basic Midwestern mom, and these young cool, like couldn't be cooler, like cool as fuck fuck kids are looking at me truly being like, are we meant to comment on this? Like,
Do you remember
it
what
looks like it's from The Gap. I mean, but it doesn't, by the way. I think it's very cool.
Do you remember what Micah said?
What did he say?
And again, picture, what's the really famous Nine Inch Nails video, the Closer video or something? Like, just picture a model version of Trent Reznor.
Yes.
Said,
And he's so nice, by the way.
oh, yeah,
Both of these, we love them both.
love to death. He says, I like the pockets. It was like the perfect thing. I was dying inside. I like the pockets.
Andy's betwixt and between these two worlds where he's like the cool record producer who's here with these like very cool, edgy people, and then his silly little wife comes in, basically short of being like, I brought you guys milk and cookies.
But they love you too. That's the other thing that needs to be clear in this story. They also love you. But it was, what a contrast.
What a contrast.
I
And
like the
also, I will
pockets.
say it did. Well, what's missing from this conversation is, do you like this jacket?
Yeah, I knew we were going to end up here. Here's the thing. Do you want the straight dope?
Yeah.
Okay. I like your jacket. Okay. Do you want me to be real or not
Yes,
real?
I do. I
Okay.
do.
Okay. Jacket on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving a 7. Okay.
Okay.
I like it. What I understand though, and what I really appreciate about the jacket is how much you love it. And I can notice a bounce in your step when you wear it. And it makes me like it even more. But it's not like it's not like my favorite jacket of yours. Does that make sense? I just want to be
What
completely
don't you like?
straight.
What don't you like
That's not
about
what
it?
we're talking about. And that's not
I
even
wanna
the
know.
situation. I just want to be real with you. So I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. But then when you put all the other, how much joy you get and the strut in your step once you put it on, right? And the happiness it brings you, it shoots right up to a 9 for me.
It's not even fall yet. That's the thing. I haven't even had it.
I think there's also context too, like, yeah, once the leaves start falling on a fall
Yes.
day, maybe up at the cabin house. Oh, yeah.
And I haven't been I've been wearing it with like sweatpants because I'm kind of in transition clothing right now.
You're defending this thing you don't have to defend at
Okay.
all. I want you to really celebrate it because it's clear how much you love it. And
Okay.
don't let anybody take that away from you. And I could have been unreal and just, been like, "No, this is my favorite jacket of yours that you've ever gotten." But let's just be real.
Do you think it's stylish?
Okay, this is... Let me say this.
Here's
Let me say
the-
this.
Okay.
I like the pockets.
You're such an asshole. No, here's the thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a jacket that, like, on the models of the website, it looks very stylish because
Okay.
they're like, it's, everything's built for this tall, slender, whatever.
Okay.
So I think it doesn't kind of have the same effect on my physique, but it is objectively a stylish kind of in jacket right now.
Nice.
But I think on me, it kind of looks maybe not as cool or something, or
I think you're really overthinking this.
Okay.
It's great.
thanks.
Whew.
Okay, what's next up on your agenda?
Okay.
I did want to shout out, gosh, there's a lot of shout outs happening, but
Please.
I was lucky enough to be on Chelsea Devantez's
nice.
Celebrity Book Club podcast this week with Minnie Driver. You can listen to it wherever you get your podcasts, like a truncated version. And then if you love it, you can pay a few bucks to join her Patreon, which I highly recommend because her podcasts are incredible and she's so funny. And I had so much fun on her podcast and I loved it. We talked about Minnie Driver's memoir, which Minnie Driver, an incredible writer. Who knew?
Okay. I wanted to revisit something that we didn't really talk about in the moment because it was a little awkward with our children around that I wanted to call you on. But while we were in Boise, there was this radio ad that kept coming on that delighted the kids to no end. And so when we saw you, they wanted to like kind of teach you a new thing that they'd learned from this
Oh no, is this
radio
okay.
ad.
Okay.
Okay. So they said to you, "Do you know what a zonkey is?"
Yes.
To which you replied,
A zebra donkey.
you knew it right off the bat.
Yes.
Which was fun, but like a little, like they were a little bummed, I think, at how quick you
Oh,
knew it.
I didn't know that.
And then they said, "Do you know what a zorse is?"
A zebra horse.
Nailed it, knocked it out of the park. But then what came out of your mouth right after that was one of the weirdest things I've ever heard you tell our children. You said, and I quote, "Do you know that more people die from taking selfies than shark attacks every year?" And I was stunned. Our 8-year-old was stunned. And our 6-year-old was stunned. Why did you say that right then?
I'm dying. I thought we were doing like fun trivia.
So fun.
And I think, I have been trying to work on this podcast. And so I've been learning some interesting facts about dying and like ways people die. And I also I had just talked to a mortician for an hour. Like my perception, I was in the zone, and also my perception of death and dying has been a little bit like, I've been a little desensitized, I guess. And I now hearing it back to me. And also I think pretty shortly after I said it in your reaction, I realized that was not really appropriate. And I will say, you kind of, not in a huff or anything, but you did remove yourself from the situation pretty quickly.
Well, I think I was, because it was so funny to me.
Yeah. But Teddy then was like, selfies? Like, and then we had a conversation. You'll appreciate this. It's been coming back around, because then I was like, well, I think it's because people are like trying to take selfies of themselves on like rock ledges or like places where they then usually probably faulted their death, or they're taking selfies like in traffic, and the act of actually taking the selfie isn't the thing that takes them out. And so then later I came out and I saw her like on her own on the bench, like holding up a fake phone and like making sure she wasn't falling off the bench.
What?
And I was like, hey, Teddy, like it would have to be a really dangerous situation. Like,
Whoa, so you put the fear of God about selfies into our daughter.
Which maybe isn't the worst thing.
Whoa.
No, I'm not. That's not right. It's not good.
It's not bad, but it's weird.
But it
isn't good, actually.
Is it? Well, I feel like I say this every episode. I've been listening to this podcast, Something Was Wrong. I watched that documentary, Bad Vegan. I've been watching and listening to and consuming, for some reason, all of these stories right now. And it really scares me about the internet, particularly for straight women, I think is a scary place. And I don't know, we obviously don't know what our kids' sexual orientations will be. But I don't know. It does make me very nervous, like the engagement and like how we're going to stay on top of it. And,
I mean, I think it's scary for everyone, especially it's scary for women. I think you could just say women. I think it's just a scary place.
Well, I think straight women especially, because I think but not truly not always. There are definitely, this crosses all genders and whatever, but most of the stories are about like psychopathic men who prey on vulnerable women and are so skilled at it. Like, but it does make me think about,
Wait, how are we here right now?
I don't know. Oh, selfies.
Selfies.
Just something, I don't know. It's a slippery slope. So maybe, you know, but that is to say, we are going to have tough conversations with our kids.
Yes.
At different points in time. Like, we're going to have to talk to them about porn. We're going to have to talk to them about sending photos of being very conscientious about what photos they take of themselves. The whole thing about taking nude photos and sending it.
Yeah.
You know, there are so many pitfalls that we did not deal with, thank God.
Yeah.
That we're going to have these. It's really interesting because I think our relationship with our kids surrounding friendships, romance, sex is going to be so foreign to us compared to in my family, that was not spoken of. It was not acknowledged. It was like total separation between church and state around I had 2 conversations with my mom about those topics.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully we'll do a good job.
Yeah. This might be a good point to tease. We teased an episode or 2 ago that we're working on an episode.
Yeah. We thought we were going to just record an episode about why we stopped doing Totally Married. And then as we started to do that, we realized it's actually, to do the story justice, we need more time, and we're going to interview people and craft a real
kind of special one-off,
or it might be a 2-parter.
Sure. Yeah. But so that's
going to take a little while.
It's going to take a while. But yeah, for those that reached out when we kind of teased it out in the air, just know it's something we're working on. That is crazy. That we'll be excited to share when it's ready, but we just want to do it justice.
Yes.
So I'm guessing a few months away. That would be my guess. One thing that I did want to also want to talk to you about, our cat has been been
so annoying.
Oh, that's not where I was going at all.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ramona.
I feel like our cat is having a moment in our house where our kids are appreciating the cat.
Yes.
And the cat's just getting a lot of love, and it's like a very cool black cat. Right?
Oh, yeah. Ramona's the coolest.
What's the type of cat it is?
Maine Coon.
Maine Coon. And I was never a cat person until we kind of, on accident, adopted a neighbor's cat.
Yeah, our OG Lame Wads will remember Hurricane.
And then we adopted this cat, Ramona. But this is like a weird thing, but there is something so cool about our cat.
I know.
But there's like a sexy vibe going on. Doesn't she seem like a sexy cat?
Oh, yeah.
But that's like a weird thing for an animal. And this is not me saying I'm attracted to any sort of animals right now.
Okay.
But there is this sexy vibe that she puts off.
Yeah, but that's not something you're now just noticing. That's been with her. It's been baked in from day one.
Yeah. But I think I've been noticing it more lately.
And it's no wonder. I mean, we adopted her she had just had a litter of 6 kittens.
What is that? How does that factor in?
She was a sexy gal on the street.
Okay, hold on. Is she just a particularly sexy cat? Mm-hmm. Or are there lots of sexy cats and we've never been cat people, so we don't understand? Or am I completely out of line right now?
I think all of the above. No, I mean, honestly, good for you for saying it. What we've all been thinking this whole time. You're very brave. No, I know that you are not right now confessing to being sexually attracted to our cat.
No.
But she is objectively sexy, yes. Now,
and cool.
She's so cool, and I think we've had 2 cats now. Mm-hmm. One that kind of just
not sexy.
Yeah, Hurricane was not sexy, but he was a cool fucking cat.
That's true.
He was very, very fucking cool.
He was cool, he didn't give a shit about anything. He could score you blow in
yes.
20 minutes.
He was a survivor of Hurricane Katrina.
True.
And we sound so ridiculous right now. But Hurricane had such a unique look to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was something kind of off about his look in a way that I found so appealing. And
that kind of tracks with you in general.
Okay. God, this is really weird. But here's what I will say. Felines, I think in general have a sexier vibe than canines.
Okay. Has there ever been a sexy canine?
Oh, yes.
You think?
Yes.
Like, I don't know if it's possible.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure, yes. And, you know, if anyone has pictures of their...
Send us your sexy canine.
Just kidding. But I know that there are, for sure... And it's also, like, about the animal and how they hold themselves, which brings us to Ramona.
Mm-hmm.
Ramona just knows what she's got.
Yeah.
It's part of her power. She's also a murderess. You know, she is an indoor-outdoor cat, which is very risky here, and we're well aware of the risk. I mean, she's going on 10 or 11 years old now. So she's living a long, fruitful life. But, you know, when we adopted her, she had been allegedly a stray, but I think she definitely... It's not like she was feral. I mean, she was definitely someone's pet at one point in time. But she had been used to being outside, and when we tried to make her a strictly indoor cat, she became so depressed that my vet was like, I rarely say this, but it's like quality of life thing.
Right.
Try having her be indoor-outdoor, and so far, so good. I mean, that is a worry because we have lots of coyotes and things like that. But
yeah.
She's very street savvy. She knows what's up. She's really active. She's really fast. She can climb the shit out of a tree. So I feel, and she's so happy. That's the other thing. So we generally let her out in the morning. She goes to the bathroom and comes back in.
Yeah.
And then if we're outside, she'll come outside with us. But generally she's like inside for most of the day until the evening is when she goes out. And that's usually when she will find, I'd say once a month, we have a mouse, a deceased mouse.
Sure.
There have been a handful of deceased little birds, which is always sad. But, you know, she stalks prey. And I will say, I've watched her do it, and she fucks with them. Okay. Like, it's not, there's something.
And this is sexy to you?
No, but it's painting a picture of like she kind of is psychotic. I don't know.
And that's attractive to you?
No, it's not. I thought we were not talking about what we're attracted to. It's like she is just objectively a cool, like.
That makes her cool?
Well,
objectively?
You know, we started watching Ozark last night, and there's a character that amazing actress whose name is, I feel like it's Julia. I don't know.
That's a cat?
No. We've so gone off the rails. You know, she seems like she's a bad person.
The actor in the show.
The character. But it's not who you'd expect because she's this young, blonde, tiny female thing.
Okay.
But the fact that she seems cold-hearted and like calculated makes her kind of, I think, more intriguing and kind of sexier to me.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's what I'm putting on Ramona right now. Ramona also is like the most loving, like she comes and cuddles. She wants to be with you. She's like a dog, like you call her. She comes over. She's very friendly. She loves people. She welcomes guests in our home.
I think you're overcompensating now. What I want to get back to real quick is what's so fascinating, because you hate so much when she murders, right?
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating to me, though, that you accept that fact about her And also, it plays a small role in her appeal.
No. We're talking specifically. I don't care if she's sexy or not. I'm just saying.
No. And by appeal, I
You're-
mean just as her whole essence.
Did you just bring. Okay. You started this whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Did you just bring this up, like, to be like, is our cat sexy or not? Or I feel like right now I'm compelled to explain why she is, but maybe that's not necessary.
And again, it's interesting that one of the details in that assessment from you is a thing that I know you don't condone.
Yes.
So I just find that interesting.
Well, it's her animal instincts, and she does have, you know, there's that look in her eye. She comes back at night and cuddles and snuggles, but there's that look in her eye that's like, I might kill something tomorrow.
It's almost like she is bad, but
She's
she's on
bad.
your team.
Yes.
And it's like you like her even more because you know she would never do anything bad to you.
Yes.
But she could.
Yes.
She's dangerous.
She's dangerous, and she is, you know what, Andy? I said it at the beginning. Bravo for you.
Yeah.
For saying she is undeniably a sexy cat.
A sexy, dangerous cat.
A sexy, dangerous cat.
Last question, and
Love
then
her.
we can move on.
She's been, when I started this and I said she's been annoying, it's just because she's been meowing a lot
Yeah.
at night. And that's just been, I don't want people going like, well, why was she annoying?
Oh, sure. If she was, can you think of a character or an actress that she embodies?
Yeah. Yes.
You can.
Well, my initial thought
Always go with your initial.
was Angelina Jolie.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Like a little fucking crazy would maybe wear a vial of blood around her neck.
the
of
Billy Bob years.
The Billy Bob years. Yeah.
You know what's really fucking crazy about this?
What?
Hurricane could totally be Billy Bob. Oh my god. Like
So
without a fucking doubt.
So exactly right.
Whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
But let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
we have been so lucky with our cats. I mean, are we spoiled for cats? Like,
Yeah. I don't know if we'd ever want another cat after this cat.
are you serious?
I mean, I guess maybe, but it's like it seems like really has set the bar high.
Yes. And I will say to anyone who's questioning getting a cat, how we found Ramona.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to the shelter to adopt this other cat who was like, appealed to me because they were like,
Cute.
no, remember their face was all fucked up? It was like something was wrong with this cat. And I was like, my heart goes out to this cat.
Yeah.
I want to go get the one that's really a mess.
Yeah.
And it had already been adopted. So we go into the like room where the cats can kind of roam freely.
Yeah.
And there are probably 40 cats in there,
Yeah.
including Ramona's kittens.
That's right.
And Ramona, we sat down on the ground kind of in the middle. We were like kind of overwhelmed. We were looking around to see like which cat we wanted to like target. And Ramona just came up and crawled into your lap and started purring so loudly. And we were done. We were done for. We were like, this is her. And then we brought her home and we were like saying names out loud, like Janet, Nancy. And then we said Ramona and she meowed.
Yeah.
And then we looked at each other, we're like, oh. And then we said Ramona again and she meowed. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. We sound so dumb because everyone loves their own animals so much, right?
Yes, but I will say, not being cat people,
Yeah.
I feel like we have a little bit more objectivity.
I can even with like our dog, R.I.P. Ruby, the cutest,
Oh, God.
but had a lot of, if
Yes.
we're going to tick the pluses and minuses boxes,
Yes.
there might
A
have
lot
even
of
been more
issues.
minuses checked in that column than the pluses. So I can be objective.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you're right. We loved Ruby with all of our hearts, but objectively, she kind of was a pain in the ass. She was a high maintenance dog, high maintenance. And I will say, my parents' dog that I inherited was very high maintenance, and that was really tough. She was a toy poodle.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell this story in the podcast? I just told it in our writer's room.
With the like parties and stuff?
With the balloon.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we've talked about that.
And now it's a cute story. Oh, this dog had a balloon on it, and I took her into like one of my classes, and one of my lecture classes, the professor was like, I'm sorry, is there a dog in here? And I had to like get up and like scurry out in total shame. And it was funny because I was telling this, and my boss was like, and from her perspective, I'm like Elle Woods or like Paris Hilton with her little doggy in the bag. And she's just like, oh my God, exasperated.
Yeah.
The truth being, I had just lost both of my parents, and I now had this dog that when I left her, she didn't stop barking for like 6 hours straight, peed everywhere. Like, it was so stressful.
Yeah.
And so that was a very high maintenance dog that I kept alive for way too long, because when she died, it felt like my parents died again. It was very weird how I connected her to them.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, that's why I can't believe I'm going to say this, and it wouldn't be the case if my dog allergies are so bad, which makes me very sad because I love dogs, and it's kind of made me not able to love them the way I want to.
Yeah.
But I kind of see a world where we don't have pets for a while after our sexy cat goes on to her next adventure, because it's a lot of work. And in many ways, I think given our lifestyle and like us wanting to go up to the cabin all the time and travel and things like that, it is just tough.
That being said, though, I get a pang, is that the right word, in my heart when we're up at the lake and you see the people with their dogs hucking the sticks in the lake in the dog area.
I know.
It looks like the dogs look like they're having so much fun. But
I know. I wish
your
I
allergies,
could.
there might be a point with allergy technology that you'll be able to do it. But it's almost like unless that happens, it's not worth it for you.
It's not. We tried to. We didn't try to. We fostered a dog.
Yeah.
Last Christmas, and
we literally took a dog away from our kids on Christmas Day.
Which they wanted. I mean, they wanted.
One of them wanted to keep the dog.
But I don't think it wasn't like she was so bonded with this dog.
Yeah, that's true.
And the other one told me, when that dog is here, it feels like I'm not as at home.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I don't think it was the perfect fit for us anyway. Like, it objectively was the perfect dog for us. Like, didn't shed. Such a cute dog.
Adorable.
So sweet. Like, really well behaved. But for some reason, I didn't like fully, and maybe it's because I was keeping myself from bonding with her.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, this is a great trial. She doesn't shed. If we don't have her in our room, maybe my allergies can deal with it.
Yeah.
And they didn't. It was miserable. Yeah. And I remember thinking, like, that was my first break in 2 years from, like, working.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did we do that? I mean, happy to help this dog, and we did help find this dog. It's forever home. It's very happy now, and it was a good thing to do. But, that was actually really devastating, because it made me realize, like, I don't think dogs are in our future until we can sort this medical side of it out.
Totally.
Or we have like a bigger house where we can really, I don't know. But anyway, our kids seem very cat focused right now.
Which is great. Yeah.
And
our daughter mentioned getting a snake. Not a fucking chance in hell.
Oh my God, no. I actually am, she mentioned wanting to ask for a praying mantis for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want any more live things. And actually, as I say that, having talked about Ramona being a murderess, like, that's just a nightmare waiting to happen.
I already planted that seed. I was like, if you had a praying mantis inside, Ramona would
kill it. Yeah. So, but I'm like, I don't want any more live things. I don't want any more live things to take care of. It reminds me of an episode of I'm Sorry, which I don't remember if this was one of the ones we wrote and that didn't ultimately get made and aired, or if it did, but based on a true story of Andrea's, where the kid goes to a birthday party and the fucking party favors are goldfish.
I think that is it aired.
It aired.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the like
Fuck
all of those
you.
parents hated the parents of that party
Yeah.
because you are basically being like, your party favor is that you have to explain death and dying to your very young child, prematurely. It's very, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think we did it. We talked about me almost dying. We talked about my beautiful jacket,
Yeah.
which I do want you to take like a nice picture of me for me to post.
Hell yeah. I have one quick question related to the jacket.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll do. Where are you at with my beard these days? Are you tired of it? Are you ready for it to leave, or are you still in the beard era?
I think I can still live comfortably in the beard era. I like it more trimmed and like polished the way you've been wearing it lately.
Yeah.
But it would be funny. I mean, it'll be interesting to see you without it.
Yeah.
At some point.
So you don't.
Where are you with your beard? I think it suits you. I will say, it's a good look on you.
That's nice. You'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with it. Yeah, I think I'm okay with it. I've been enjoying it.
Great.
I'm glad we're here.
Good. I'm growing my hair out longer.
I love that.
You do?
Yeah. You have like 2 cuts that I love.
I know, and I'm in between them.
Yeah.
The like cool short one that was like stylish.
I love that one, and then I really like longer on you too.
I'm going longer, and I'm also growing. So I kind of got blonde highlights. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna grow those back out and go long,
I love it.
and then maybe go back to stylish, cute, short bob.
What's your favorite hairstyle on me?
I've been liking it lately.
A little longer? Or do you like it shorter? Or do you just like the
I
kind
like
of
it in
cycle that I'm
between.
on?
Yeah, the cycle's great.
I'm on the cycle. God,
Wow, we are
I'm
so boring.
so predictable, so normal. Been wearing the same outfit for 20 years.
I know. Do you think we're, going back to St. Louis and like God bless everyone there, and also like no shade against tradition but I'm like, this isn't true for everyone. There are a lot of people there who the style has evolved or whatever, but there were plenty of people, particularly the guys, where you were just wearing your dad's like the khaki shorts, the needlepoint belts, the collared shirt or whatever, and I'm like, are we that version of basically looking at like Romy and Micah, which is a style neither of us could ever or would ever probably step into. I'm just like, are we cool with our style never evolving? Are we good with where we're at?
Yeah, I think we've kind of refined to you and me like have some basics that I think work well for us. That are good. You know what's I've been really getting a huge kick out of though is the kids these days look like exactly like we did in high school.
Well, like I would have dreamed of. Oh, you mean like kids in general, or
our
kids have, especially our daughter.
Oh, our kids
has the most
amazing
incredible style. I'm like, I have no idea where it came from.
It's crazy.
She knows what she wants, and it's nothing that we have like fed her, or it's totally her own unique thing.
No, yeah, but I mean, well, I guess part of this is inspired for shopping for clothes for her, but just style in general.
Yes.
When I've gone shopping recently for her and for myself, and I walk into the stores and I'm like, holy shit, it feels like it's 1994.
100%.
All the pants are big again. I saw a funny tweet that said, that had a map. I gotta find this tweet where it was like every time there's baggy pants, a recession is looming or something, and it charts out history of baggy pants.
I know, like watching that Woodstock documentary, it kind of was like, yeah, that style, like it felt like we could have been watching the style of today. It was really the Woodstock 99. But
yeah, it's weird.
What I wanted to say, I wanted to shout out something for other women or men.
Yeah.
I think it's both genders or, whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever. The way I've been shopping lately outside of my new jacket, I probably only buy 5 or 6 new things a year at this point, unless I'm like re-upping, like my pajama pants now have a hole. I always buy J. Crew pajama pants, whatever. But like for specific things, like a new dress or I am very into quality right now over quantity. And maybe this is going to sound absurd to some people or not, but like now that I'm working regularly and stuff, I feel more comfortable, say, saving for a jacket that's $350 that I know I will have for a decade.
That jacket was $350?
No, it wasn't, but don't be rude.
I'm joking.
Okay.
How much was that jacket?
Probably like $165.
Oh, nice.
It's from Alex Mill. So anyway, but a way I've been shopping, because I, first of all, don't like to shop. Second of all, with COVID, I really don't like to shop like out at the stores for some reason.
Yeah.
I feel like I think everyone feels this way, but shopping is usually a disappointing endeavor for me, because even if I'm at my right, like I'm shopping at the right size for me, some things really don't look right on me. I'm like short-waisted. It feels like it's hard to fit my body. And so I've been using Rent the Runway. This is not, I'm not sponsored in any way. I'm not getting anything for this. But what I do is Rent the Runway. It's $100 a month. You get to rent 4 different pieces. When you're looking at the pieces, you can look at pictures from real people, and they will say, like, in general, they're like general size or stats. So you can kind of compare and be like, oh, that's kind of what it might look like on my body.
Have you ever uploaded a photo?
No.
I do that sometime.
Yeah. Yes, that would be a nice way to give back, but I just don't feel like it. So anyway, but I really appreciate the people who do, because it's very helpful. And then when there's something I absolutely love, which has happened a handful of times over the last year, and I'm just like, I don't want to not have this, I buy it, and you can buy it at a discount. And so you buy it and you just keep it. And that's how, like, the dress I wore to my high school reunion that you love so much, I bought from Rent the Runway.
Yeah.
There are a few things. Anyway, I really love this new system for me, because you get to really wear it and try it and see if you love it before purchasing.
I love that. I want to this is the most boring end of a show ever, but I want to say this to you one more time. I think I told you this, but I had my second experience. I went to get 2 T-shirts for one of our kids at Uniqlo, and they have that checkout system now where you walk up to the iPad and you just set the clothes in this bin, and it instantly tells you how much everything is. Wow. And then you just pay. Like, literally took me 60 seconds just dropping it in and paying, and I was gone. And there was a couple next to me doing it too, and I shared in their amazement too, like them being like, what? Like, how? It really is some crazy futuristic stuff.
You know what? I was thinking about that after you said it, and I'm like, that's so smart for companies to, like, I think what it's going to end up being in the next 5 to 10 years is when you walk into a store, you put your phone against a sensor that's, it's linked to your Apple Pay or whatever. Yep. Shout out Apple credit card that Andy did almost all the music for. Then you go into the store. Whatever you walk out with is charged, and it would make the losses that they get from theft so much less. Like, your entry ticket is basically putting your card on file.
I think Amazon's already experiencing. There are stores like that, little Amazon like quick shops where it is exactly that. You walk out and it's just like you get charged after.
And
the
also
fact.
like how nice, because it's so fucking annoying having to go wait in line. I mean now.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, you do feel bad though because you're like, oh well, now more people are gonna like. Is that a job lost? Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe that job is somewhere else now. But it was literally like. You walked up to this thing and you were out. Like I was in the store and out of the store in 3 minutes because I knew what I was going to get. I had to find the size and then I walk over. Like it was so frictionless.
Frictionless.
It was
a frictionless experience.
But it's crazy. And maybe we'll get into future shit on a future podcast. But like shit's going to get bananas for us with just weird stuff like that.
Yeah. But you think about like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I also think nothing is going to change so profoundly in our life as the dawn of the internet. Like in our lifetime, we have already experienced the biggest shift.
Yeah.
Which is when you and I were 16, 17 years old, the difference between no internet, like going through an almost entire high school years without internet.
Yeah.
To the first use of the internet for me was just logging onto AOL and chatting. Yeah. But, you know, that shift was so profound. Like, there's nothing that could happen.
I think, and let's talk about this next week. I'll make a note. I want to talk a little bit about the AI stuff. And, like, the graphic design stuff's been blowing my mind lately. But I want to talk to you a little bit about AI next week.
You know what? Yes, I want to talk about that, too, in a little teaser. Like, what I'm like, can we get the show on the road with this is autonomous vehicles. Like the amount of lives that would be saved from autonomous vehicles. I'm like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing we were talking about this morning. I feel like when you and I were first dating, you were like, we're going to have the Jetsons in 10 years. It's going to be like flying cars.
I was adamant. There's probably podcast tape of us years ago being like, our kids are not going to drive. Like they will not be driving whatever the transportation is.
And here it just feels like there's such a lag on.
You see California ban gas cars.
Yes, which is awesome. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, okay. To be
future shit on a future episode.
Fascinating teaser. If anything's going to bring people back, it's us two idiots talking about autonomous vehicles. Our numbers just completely plummet. We're like, what happened?
We got who's like I was just trying to think of like who people listen to about this stuff. Musk. So and so. Andy Rose and Elizabeth Lame. All right.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.